What is the circle of fifths? Think about a major scale. Now take the fifth note of that major scale. Then play the first note of the scale and the fifth note together. This is an interval called a fifth. Hey, hang on. What's an interval? An interval is simply the distance or relation between two notes. So if you take a major scale, for instance, from the first to second note in the scale is called a major second interval. From the first to third note is a major third interval, and so on. So now that we have our first fifth interval, G being the fifth of C, let's find the fifth of G. Count 5 up the G major scale, and we find D. D is the fifth of G, and we have another perfect fifth interval. Do the same process with D major, and we find that A is the fifth of D, and if we keep going until we get back to C, we end up with every note arranged by fifths. This is the circle of fifths. So why is this important? Is this just some music theory trick? How do I even use this? Well, the circle of fifths is just a chart with one type of interval, the fifth. And it can be an effective tool to familiarize yourself with the concept of intervals, and it might help you memorize all the fifth intervals. But there are 12 intervals, and if you're only familiar with one interval, or worse, you're only familiar with one and don't know intuitively how to find the notes, it's going to be very easy to fall into the trap of musical arbitrariness. AKA, you only know something because you memorized it by blind faith and don't really understand it. So if you know how intervals work and just need to be better at recalling the notes quickly, then memorizing the circle will probably be helpful. Just remember, don't memorize it until you can write it out yourself. And don't stop with just learning and memorizing one concept like the circle of fifths. And don't isolate each concept when you learn it. Instead, use what you already know combined with what you're learning as a springboard to understanding the next musical concept. As a result, the next concepts you choose to learn will become progressively easier to learn. And as you go on and start to put these puzzle pieces together, you'll become more familiar with music as a whole, not just parts of it. And you'll be well on your way to making music instead of just playing it. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, consider sending it along to someone who might find it helpful as well. If you like this type of content and would like to see more, consider subscribing and let me know in the comments below what topic you'd like to hear about next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.